Hello everyone, it's me Josephine, Sneha. Hope you're all doing well. In this video, I'm going to take you through my reading journey of this book called Beach Reads by Emily Henry. Well, I have not done this before, so I wanted to do this. Get ready to listen to this book talk, more or less like a book review, few stories from my own life, etc. So if you're ready, let's begin, shall we? To begin with, this book is a rom-com, so it is of course predictable, right? The book begins by showing a character called January. She's the protagonist and she's like hit the rock bottom. ஸோ எப்போவுமே பார்த்தோன்னா ராம்காம்ஸ் அப்படி தான் வந்து ஆரம்பிக்கும். லைக் அவங்களால வந்து ஏதோ ஒரு முடியல, ரொம்ப பிரச்சனையாக இருக்குது, ஸோ ஐ டோன்ட் see any future அப்படின்ற மாதிரி. ஸோ we see that something bad has happened with her job, her personal life, probably her boyfriend ditched her, and then like she's semi-homeless, and then like she's visiting a new home. ஸோ இந்த நியூ ஹோமுக்கான பேக்ட்ராப் என்ன அப்படின்னா, சின்ன வயசுலேருந்தே வந்து பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா she had a lovable family, only daughter, so dad, mom and herself. So her mom was like diagnosed with cancer, so things were getting wrong, but still her dad made sure that everyone enjoyed. So அதை பார்த்து வந்து she's like feeling I'm a hopeless romantic. Also this is one of the trait of a rom-com because people என்னதான் வந்து அடிபட்டாலும் லைக் சம்திங் டு லுக் ஃபார்வர்ட் அப்படின்ற மாதிரியே இருப்பாங்களே, லவ் ரிலேட்டட். அந்த மாதிரி தான் அந்த கதையும் ஆரம்பிக்குது. ஸோ வந்து அவங்க அம்மா வந்து டயக்னஸ்ட் வித் கேன்சர், அதனால வந்து கீமோ அடுத்தடுத்து தெரப்பி அப்படின்னு போயிட்டே இருப்பாங்க. பட் ஸ்டில் ஹர் டேட் மேட் ஹர் பிலீவ் திங்ஸ் வில் பி ஆல் ரைட். ஸோ அப்படி தான் நல்லா போயிட்டு இருந்துச்சு டில் பீயிங் 28. ஆனால் 29ல் அப்படியே ஒரு டிராஸ்டிக் சேஞ்ச் என்ன ஆயிடுச்சு அப்படின்னா, அவங்க அப்பா இறந்துட்டாங்க, 1 year ஆகுது. அதுக்கப்புறமா வந்து அவங்க அம்மாவுக்கு எல்லாமே சரியாயிடுச்சு, பட் ஸ்டில் தே ஆர் நாட் இன் குட் டாக்கிங் டேர்ம்ஸ். அதே மாதிரி என்னன்னா, அவளோட பாய் ஃப்ரெண்ட் வாஸ் லைக் வெரி ட்ரீமி எவ்ரி திங், பட் ஆல் ஆஃப் அ சடன் ஹீ ஃபீல்ஸ் இதுக்கு மேலே வந்து நான் லவ் பண்ணலை, ஸோ வேணாம் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி பிரேக்கப் ஆகிடுச்சு. அவளோட ப்ரொஃபஷனல் லைஃப், ஸோ ஷீஸ் லைக் அன் எடிட்டர் ஒரு ரைட்டர்னு நினைக்கிறேன், ரைட்டர். ஸோ அதனால் வந்து ஷீஸ் டாக்கிங் வித் லிட்ரரி ஏஜென்ட் எக்ஸெட்ரா. ஸோ அதுலேயுமே வந்து எந்த விஷயமும் நல்லா போகலை. ஸோ அவளோட கெரியருமே வந்து இட்ஸ் லைக் பிட் ஸ்டாக்னன்ட். அதே மாதிரி வந்து அவள் நியூயார்க்லேருந்து ஒரு சின்ன ஒரு ரூரல் பிளேஸ்க்கு வந்து வரா. ஸோ இந்த ரூரல் பிளேஸ் யாருது அப்படின்னா, அவங்க அப்பாவோட ஒரு சீக்ரெட் ஹவுஸ். அவர் உயிரோடு இருந்த வரைக்குமே யாருக்குமே தெரியல அவர் இந்த வீடு வச்சிருந்தாரு அப்படின்னு. ஸோ இறந்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் தான் வந்து ஒரு மிஸ்டீரியஸ் விமன், ஸோ அந்த விமன் வந்து உங்க அப்பா வந்து இதை நீ வச்சுக்கணும்னு நினைச்சாரு அப்படின்னு சொல்லி கொடுக்குறா. ஸோ ஷீ ஹர் செல்ஃப் கால்குலேட்ஸ் இவங்க 2 பேருக்குள்ள ஏதோ ஒரு அஃபேர் இருந்திருக்கு, அதனால இவர் இந்த சீக்ரெட் வீடு வச்சிருக்காரு அப்படின்னு. பட் நவ் தட் ஷி ஹஸ் லாஸ்ட் அ ஜாப் அண்ட் எவ்ரிதிங், ஸோ ஷி ஹஸ் கம் ஹியர் ஃபார் அ சேஞ்ச். ஸோ அங்கே தான் வந்து போயிருக்கா. அப்போ வந்து பக்கத்தில் ஒரு நெய்பர் இருக்கா, ஹீஸ் கைண்ட் ஆஃப் லைக் கிரம்பி, ஸோ ரொம்ப அப்ரோச்சபிளாக அந்த மாதிரிலாம் எதுவுமே இல்லை. ஸோ இதெல்லாம் வந்து அவளுக்கு ஞாபகம் வருது. அதுக்கப்புறமா சரி கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமாக அந்த டவுனை எக்ஸ்ப்ளோர் பண்ண ஆரம்பிக்கிறா. போகிறப்ப அங்கே ஒரு புக் ஷாப் இருக்குது. ஸோ அங்கே போய் பேசுகிறப்ப ஸோ இவ வந்து ஒரு ரைட்டர் அப்படின்னு தெரியுது. அங்கே இருக்கவங்க வந்து இவளை இன்வைட் பண்ணுறாங்க, எங்களோட புக் கிளப்பில் வந்து பேசுங்கன்னு. ஸோ அவளுக்கும் ஞாபகம் அவளோட லிட்ரரி ஏஜென்ட் முன்னாடி சொல்லியிருப்பாரு. ஸோ சில புக்ஸ் எல்லாம் பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா இது பிச்சபிளாகவே இருக்காது, பட் ஸ்டில் புக் கிளப்ஸில் வந்து பேசி ரீட் பண்ணி அதனால கூட ஃபேமஸான புக்ஸ்லாம் இருக்குது அப்படின்னு. ஸோ ஷீ ஃபீல்ஸ் ஓகே, ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி நம்மளை வந்து கூப்பிடுது, ஸோ நம்ம ஏன் அதை அவாய்ட் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஷீ டேக்ஸ் தட் ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி. சரியான அந்த புக் ஷாப்ல எல்லாம் பேசி திரும்பி கிளம்பலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு போகிறப்ப டோர் ஓப்பன் ஆகுது. அந்த பெல் மேலே வந்து ரிங் ஆகுது. யாருன்னு சொல்லி பார்த்தா someone is like entering. He's like tall, has a jawbone which is like more than enough to cut anyone. அந்த அளவுக்கு ஷார்ப்பாக இருக்குது. ஸோ இது யார் அப்படின்னா அகஸ்டஸ். ஸோ ஹீ இஸ் த ஹீரோ. அண்ட் இந்த அகஸ்டஸ் வந்து யார் அப்படின்னா அந்த ஒரு நெய்பர், ஒரு கிரம்பி நெய்பர் அவர் தான். அண்ட் இன்னொன்று என்ன அப்படின்னா, இந்த அகஸ்டஸ் தான் வந்து இவளோட காலேஜ் ரைவல். 2 பேருமே ஒரே காலேஜ் தான் படிச்சிருப்பாங்க. ஹீ இஸ் ஆல்சோ அ ரைட்டர். 2 பேரும் ஒரே இதில் தான் இருக்காங்க. ஆல்மோஸ்ட் இவ வந்து கஷ்டப்பட்டு எல்லாத்தையும் பண்ணிட்டு இருப்பான், ஆனால் அவன் வந்து எல்லாத்துலேயும் டாப்பாக இருக்க மாதிரி இருக்கும். அந்த நியூயார்க் பெஸ்ட் செல்லர் லிஸ்ட்டில் இவ பேர் இருக்குது அப்படின்னா அவனோட ஒரு 2 பேருக்கு முன்னாடி அவனது இருக்கும். ஸோ ஷீ ஸ்டில் கன்சிடர் ஹிம் அஸ் அ ரைவல். ஸோ அவன் தான். ஸோ ஆல்மோஸ்ட் 2 பேரும் ஒரே ஊரில் தான் இருக்காங்க, பக்கத்தில் தான் இருக்காங்க. ஸோ இது வரைக்கும் தான் நான் படிச்சிருக்கேன். We'll keep you updated what happens. Now that Gus says January has met, Gus actually says that he remembers January because they both are neighbors. So January feels a bit relieved because he doesn't remember that they both have a kind of a history. They were in college together. Another reason January kind of consider him as a rival is because he actually writes creative writing really well, because his story is almost like about people working in cemetery, like the mourning widows, their feelings. It's more like a literary work. But whereas January, like when she was writing in college, it was more or less like happy endings. And one time Augustus also makes fun of us. He says, "How? Let me guess, another happy ending." So this is one of the reason like January hates him so much. She feels like as if he thinks not just him, but the entire male authors think that what they are doing is like really different, important. But whereas these women writers, they are like considered to be very low or treated unfair. So this is also the reason that she's having anger within herself. Now that both of them are in the same place, they try to get along, but of course like there is a kind of a tension between them. And then like one fine day, Gus actually admits that he remembers her from college. He says that there was one night, he is actually a serial dater. Of course he dates many women just like for months only. He doesn't have like deep connection, unlike January. So one fine day when they were dancing, probably during prom or something, so they kind of made a eye contact, and then like they were like holding hands, they were dancing, but then in a split second, January's friend interrupted and they just split. So it was like they were about to have a connection, but then it was all lost. So Gus states that it was not long ago, I remember you from that. So now January is like feeling tense. She feels something is happening to her, but she's not admitting it. And then like now both of them starts to open up. January especially states that since her father died, she is here, and not only that, her literary agent is pushing her to publish a book soon, but then like she's in writer's block. And then like they both are having arguments like what exactly they both are writing and everything. So January is like telling that Gus definitely would not have read any of her works, because like women's fiction are often like undervalued and like not taken into consideration, but whereas if a male writer wrote anything, it will be like glorified and it will be like printed as New York bestseller and etc. So they have like a lot of arguments and everything, and finally Gus comes with an idea that probably we should switch whatever genre we are writing. That is, Gus will be writing about happy endings and January should write a proper literary fiction. So together they agree, more or less like a challenge. They want to see which publishing house actually accepts them immediately and if it works out or not. So it's indeed a good challenge. So both of them agree, and while leaving to their respective houses, Gus admits that he has read all the books of January. So now January feels even more like sensing something, like more or less like she starts liking him, but that's all I have read. So I feel like the tension is built properly, because it's like they are enemies, kind of like not exactly friends, but they are kind of like getting closer. So I want to see how exactly the story turns. Now things are getting really good. Since both of them are writing different genres, they decide to get the help of each other. And January has been writing happy endings, romantic stuffs, and he has been writing something serious. So now they have interchanging, so both of them decide to help each other. So they plan that during weekdays they'll be writing, and on weekends probably they need to get these educational visits. So it's interesting because these educational visits, like January takes Gus to places like restaurants, beach, romantic movies, restaurants, etc. So இதெல்லாமே வந்து ஒரு educational trips மாதிரி, nothing serious, there is nothing between them. And then Gus takes her to certain places like where there are interviews conducted, book clubs, more like very serious things. So this is how they go, and as time passes on, they are getting to know each other very well. Slowly we see January opening up about her past, like about her father, how good they were all together, but then her mother's diagnosis, how her father cheated, like how she is unable to trust anyone right now. Also her ex-boyfriend who was her first love and everything, but now that things took a different turn, like how difficult it is to find about her boyfriend, like who was her first love and everything. But now that he has turned everything for her, it is unbelievable and impossible for her to write a happy ending. That is why she is struggling. So we get to see their dark past, etc. Similarly, for Gus or Augustus, we see that his family is entirely like different, because his father is abusive, his mother has died probably because of this. So eventually he had a very troubled childhood. That is why he was writing, remember, this creative writing in college, which is very serious, grim. So that is why. And not only that, then like later on he got married, but then like, this wife actually cheated on his best friend Parker. So it's like worst thing took a different turn, more like an ugly turn, which is why he has got trust issues. He wants to be alone from everyone, which is why he came here. He listens to sad songs, write these realistic stuffs, doesn't believe in love or anything. That is what he is. So eventually Gus and January starts writing their manuscript, because that's the challenge, right? So both of them are doing it, they're trying their best. Also another thing is that both of their houses are next to each other. So from Gus's window, January's window can be seen. So they are like writing certain things, showing off. So it's kind of good. And now that they are like truly friends, it's like their relationship is moving on to next level. Both of them are helping each other, and it's almost like few months, and January finally finishes her book and she mails the manuscript to her agent, and likewise Gus also is done with his work and sends it to his agent. Finally there is a kind of like a small party or anything that is organized by the bookshop that is there, and both of them are meeting. It's like both of them have understood that they have fallen in love with each other. You know, while writing these books there are so many things that is happening. So Gus is also understands and accepts that he is in love again. This time is truly. It is also like shown that Gus started liking January while she was in college itself, but then like he was not how to approach her, and he feels that he was a complete mess at that time. Remember, he has this bad past and all, but whereas January is entirely filled with romantic notions, so he feels it would not be right for him to be with her, so that it will be a disappointment, etc. So now that both of them were like ready to confess, and that's when Augustus' wife Naomi, she shows up in the bookshop. So she comes there and she wants to meet him and talk to him. So that's when we understand, like, God, what is this? This is a huge mess, because anything could happen, right? So with that we see that there is another woman. Remember, January's father had a affair with the lady, so she's also coming and she wants to talk to January. So the couple who were about to like confess their love for each other now get separated. So with that, I'll keep you updated next. After this ex-wife takes Augustus away, we don't see much about him. Even January doesn't hear any news, any text calls from him. So she's like worried what could have happened to him. And then like January and this lady, she has a conversation. So this lady actually starts revealing the truth. This lady or this woman, so her name is Sonia. So she and January's father, they were childhood sweethearts. But then like eventually life happened, they separated. January's father got married with a mother. So they were happy, etc. But then like things were not going good. But the parents did not show anything to January. So she doesn't even know about that. So they were about to split up. So that's when her father rekindled their romance with this lady, Sonia. But then unfortunately, that is the time January's mother got diagnosed with cancer. So he felt guilty. So he immediately patched up, cutting ties with her. So January didn't even know that her father and mother were not in talking terms. They were about to get divorced and all. It was a shock for her. So once they were diagnosed and everything, so it was like as if she was about to die. So the father reached again to this lady for comfort. But when her mother got okay and everything, he once again cut ties. And when things were all right, he actually promised her that January's father actually want to be with this woman because she is the childhood sweetheart and everything, and etc. But before that, he actually died. So the truth is, January didn't even know any of these things, but January's mother knew all these. But then like she did not reveal it because she didn't want January to have a bad opinion about her father. And not only that, this lady says that her father actually loved her so much, has written so much of letters, and she should be reading it. So she starts reading them and finds that she should be living a great life, and he even purchased a boat on her name and everything. So January wants to meet Gus and talk about all these things because everything is clear, right? There is like so much of there was so much of room for doubt and confusion, but now everything is clear. So she understands because love makes you do crazy things and everything. She wants to convey this to Gus, but Augustus was found nowhere. So she calls her friend. So her friend arrives and they all spend time in the boat. So this is what is happening. And then she's like, enough book gets published. So she receives the first copy. So she starts reading. That is when Augustus comes once again. So Augustus comes there and he actually reveals that he had a good talk with his ex-wife. So the thing is that his ex-wife and his friend, they broke up. So the wife actually feels guilty because it is because of the bad karma. She did something wrong to her husband, right? Which is why she's now suffering. So she wants to patch up with Augustus. But so after telling this, like January is like want to know if he's like patching up with his wife, because we all know, right, Augustus is a realist and not a hopeless romantic like January. So she wants to know, but then Augustus finally confesses that no, he is in love with January and he wants to be with her and not his ex-wife or any woman in the world. So he finally confessed. Then comes the best part, because she starts teasing him. She says that you're not a romantic person, you hate all these, you want to be a realist, so how will you be happy with a person like me, etc. And then he says like he's fine, he's ready to do anything she asks. It could be like even dancing in the rain, because when the novel is like starting, we could see certain events where she says that no matter what happens, like when you dance in the rain with the person you love the most, things will be all right, etc. But whereas Augustus is completely against this, remember? But he says like he's ready to even do that. Also, then there is a question like January is like asking what happens if they are not getting their happy ending, like what would happen, etc. This will hurt so much. But then like Augustus promises, doesn't matter, he doesn't care about happy ending because he wants to be happy with her for now, because that's all it matters. So I think like that is kind of good, you know, when someone is like overthinking, like anxious, but then someone is like grounded and a realist. I think that's the combo that we really need to have in life, because not it would not be good like when both of them are like a dreamer or when both of them are like realist. So this one really works. So with that, so both of them are thinking that, and while they were talking everything, so it starts raining and both of them are dancing in the rain. It's like one complete circle. Now the story moves to 9 months later and they are receiving their advanced copy and they are living together in the same house. So they get the advanced copies and both of them are like discussing their endings, like how did they make it up, because Gus has to write something happy and she has to write something realistic. So they talk about it. It's like as if they have written their own life projections and everything. So they discuss about it and finally they open it. The book is like very beautiful, and Augustus actually asks January to open his book and read it. So she actually reads the dedication part, which is in the, you know, it will be in the first pages. So it goes something like this. For January, I don't care how the story ends as long as I spend it with you. That's really good, right? Like till the end, he actually sticks to this part. So, he's of course something not agreeing with what January says about happy ending. I mean, it should not be like always happy everything, but he's like happy with the present. I actually liked it when I read this part. I kind of like started getting a bit teary, not much, bit teary. So yeah, that's how beautiful it is. And then she understands like how much Augustus loves her. So both of them confess and they are very happy. So the novel ends with a beautiful note telling that you know, when January is writing the book, she always believes that happy ending comes in the ending, with that the story ends. But for now, it is not sure. It's not the beginning, neither ending. It's just a good day. It's just that she's happy now. She's happy with the guy she loves. So that's all makes the difference. So it says something like, mine had already begun, and so this day was neither an ending nor a beginning. It was just a good day, a perfect day, a happy for now, so vast and deep that I knew, or rather believed, I didn't have to worry about tomorrow. I think that is a perfect ending, that this is a real ending, because most of the time we believe that happy ending comes someday, we think about that, we overthink, we get worried, losing the present. But this book is a complete reminder that to live your present, not to worry about tomorrow. Because if you're happy now, I think that makes the entire difference. Being worried about someday, thinking about it, losing the entire presence, not living, which is what I do often. And my friends really scold me for that, telling like, you are such an overthinker, you plan everything overhead. But at times we need to remember that we don't have to do it, because things eventually will get worked out in the end. So this is a beautiful reminder and it was a wonderful read. I enjoyed it thoroughly making this vlog. This is the first time I'm doing it, so if that is not good or something I need to rectify it, please let me enjoy making this video, and hope I'll make more of it if possible. And thank you so much for staying with me. Make sure to like it and share it to your friends. Whom do you think that should be reading this book next? Also make sure to subscribe so that you get the updates then and there. That's all for today. Stay safe and make healthy choices. We'll meet you in the next video. Bye.